What's going on, guys? Isaiah or /Buddy24 here. Today, bringing you a patch overview video for Hearthstone. Today, we had a big patch drop, patch 19.2, which is sort of the mid-season patch for the Madness at the Darkmoon Fair expansion. We have a ton of content and changes with this patch, and I'm going to be basically just breaking it all down in this video. We're going to be focusing more on certain parts more than others because there's just so much, new content and various balance changes for almost every mode in this patch. We have changes for Battlegrounds, standard balance changes, some Duels balancing as well, and then some sort of reworks to the economy, the rewards track that was recently introduced with this latest expansion that didn't go over very well with the community. We've had some pretty big improvements and changes to that. And we also have a new in-game event, the Winter Veil event, which comes with a bunch of new tavern brawls, new content, and free rewards. So like 5 different areas of content to kind of go over and give you the lowdown on in this video. I'm going to be mainly focusing on standard and the economy changes, and sort of just briefly touching on both Battlegrounds and Duels. And then at the end, I'm going to go over the free stuff and the new events coming with the Winter Veil event, the limited time Christmas event that we get every year. So yeah, a lot of stuff to go over. If I went in depth on every single new thing in this patch, it'd be like a 40-minute video. So I'm going to kind of just quickly gloss over some certain areas and then more heavily focus on the standard and economy changes, since those sort of apply to me mostly. I don't really play a lot of Battlegrounds or Duels, so I'm going to kind of just quickly go over that. But with that said, let's jump right into it with some updates for Battlegrounds. So Battlegrounds has received a pretty big content update with this latest patch. The most recent Battlegrounds update brought the Elementals tribe to the game. We don't have a new tribe this time around, but we do have a variety of new heroes and new minions based on the old gods from the most recent expansion. So we have 3 new heroes in the game. I'm not going to be like giving you my analysis and breaking them down, but we have Cthulhu, N'Zoth, and Y'Shaarj. Cthulhu is up first, and his hero power is at the end of your turn, give a friendly minion +1/+1, repeat 0 times, upgrades after each use, which costs 2 gold. Then we also have N'Zoth. He has a passive hero power. Start the game with a 1/1 fish that gains all your death rattles in combat. And then lastly, we have Y'Shaarj. He has a 2 gold hero power. At the start of combat, add a minion from your tavern tier to your warband and keep it. So 3 new heroes coming to the Battlegrounds. We already have Yogg-Saron in the game when Battlegrounds first launched, so that's why there's no new like Yogg-Saron hero. But either way, we also, in addition to the 3 new heroes, we have a variety of hero balancing updates. We have some heroes that have been removed and are returning to the Battlegrounds hero pool. We have Galakrond deleted from the game, so rip to him. We have Sir Finley and the great Akazamzarak returning to the Battlegrounds hero pool. And then we have 3 updates or 3 balancing changes for 3 of the heroes in Battlegrounds. We have Silas Darkmoon, one of the recently released heroes. He has an increased overall chance of getting tickets on his minion after turn 1. And then we have 2 hero power changes. We have Zephyrus' hero power moving from 4 gold to 3. Then we have Patches' hero power moving from 4 gold also to 3. So some, good balance changes there, I would say, overall. From the limited amount of Battlegrounds I have played, Galakrond was one of the strongest heroes for the last couple of weeks, even though he was like one of the worst heroes for months when he was in the game. But either way, he's been deleted from the game, so rest in peace. Then we have 3 new heroes to try out. These will, of course, as always with any new heroes, be only available for Battleground perks holders in early access for a couple of weeks, and then everyone will get the opportunity to pick from them after that. But aside from the new heroes and the balance changes, we also have spells coming to Battlegrounds. This is the big new change for Battlegrounds. This is a limited time event, which is called Darkmoon Prizes. Basically how these spells work, and you're seeing them on your screen here as I'm talking. How the spells work is there are 4 prize turns now in a Battlegrounds game for this limited time event. And on each of these prize turns, you'll get to discover from one of these Darkmoon prizes. So the prize turns happen on turns 4, 8, 12, and 16. So on turn 4, everyone will get to discover from one of the 7 options for the prize turn 1. Well, you'll receive 3 options on the screen, but it's from a pool of 7. And then on turn 8, you'll discover an option from prize turn 2. On turn 12, discover an option from prize turn 3. And on turn 16, which you probably will not make it to, you'll discover an option from prize turn 4. So an interesting new idea for Battlegrounds. Spells is something that they haven't yet introduced for this mode. So I'm very curious to see how this changes things. I'm sure there's going to be definitely some balancing issues off the rip with these prize turns. But I think the fact that it's only 4 times per game, and it's probably more like 3 times since a lot of Battlegrounds games don't go to turn 16. They usually end around turn like 13 or 14, maybe 15 at the very latest. So either way, I think Discover mechanic will sort of reduce the huge high roll potential with these prize turn spells. And also, I think that on the positive side, they will add some solid variety to the game. It won't just be elementals high rolling every time. Some different prizes will sort of allow for some deeper and more intricate strategies, maybe allow for some more counterplay. Certain spells can help you in certain situations rather than other spells. So overall, I think this is a really interesting and cool mechanic. Important to keep in mind that this is a limited time mechanic, so they're just kind of experimenting, I think, here first. This isn't going to be in the game forever. They're going to kind of have this sort of trial run, and then maybe spells will be something that is in the game permanently moving forward. But either way, an interesting new mechanic, and looking forward to seeing how the new spells, the Dark Moon prizes, work out in the Battlegrounds. Last but not least for Battlegrounds, we have 10 new minions being added into the minion pool. They're sort of related to the Old Gods expansion, and then also a couple new demon cards. I'm not going to go over all these minions since there's 10 of them, but you can check them out for yourself in the patch notes link, which I believe down in the description box below, and also the comment section. I'm not going to break these down in super detail, since like I mentioned, I don't play a ton of Battlegrounds. Just kind of wanted to go over it, make you aware of it. And if you want to check out that more in depth, you can either play the patch right now because it is already live, or you can check it out in the link below on the Hearthstone blog. So now that Battlegrounds is out of the way, a pretty beefy update for Battlegrounds, we have some standard balance updates, some long-awaited standard balance changes. In my opinion, the current meta is absolute trash, so I'm very much looking forward to these new balance changes. We have 6 cards that have been changed, starting out with everyone's favorite class to nerf Demon Hunter. We've had 3 more Demon Hunter cards being nerfed, which brings it up to 16 Demon Hunter cards that have been changed since the class was added into the game at the start of this year in April. So let's jump right into it. We have the first card up here, Blade Dance, the most egregious defender of the current top Demon Hunter decks, the Soul Demon Hunter, and to a lesser extent, the Aggro Demon Hunter. Blade Dance moved from 2 mana to 3. I think that this is a solid change. I think Blade Dance was a massive mistake. I don't know what they were thinking printing this card, but this is a solid change. Not much analysis to really give. The card was completely busted. It was by far the biggest swing card for Soul Demon Hunter, and I'm very happy to see it nerfed to 3. I don't even know if nerfing it to 3 was enough. It's still better than the similar rogue card. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Blade Fury or something, and it costs 4. Either way, Blade Dance, good riddance. I hope it never gets seen again. But it's in the Initiate set, so not sure if we'll be seeing it next year. Either way, it should decrease its power level a little bit. That is certainly a welcome change. Next up here we have Dreadlord's Bite, the recently released Demon Hunter weapon, moving from a 3-mana 3/2 weapon to a 3-mana 2/2 weapon. Didn't seem like it would be super strong or super broken when it was first put into the game, but it turns out that a Fiery War Axe with an upside in a class that deals a lot of face damage is pretty strong. So just a bit of an attack reduction on this weapon. I think that this is a solid change. This is more of a card for the Aggro Demon Hunters rather than the Soul Demon Hunters. But I think just lowering that damage a little bit, it still obviously deals 1 damage to all enemies on the Outcast trigger. But I think that this is a good change, a little bit less gas and fuel in the tank for your Aggro Demon Hunter. And lastly, for our Demon Hunter class cards, we have Shard Shatter Mystic, moving from a 3-mana 3/2 and to a 4-mana 3/2. This is similar to sort of Blade Dance. It was a huge swing card in Soul Demon Hunter. I don't think it was necessarily as problematic as Blade Dance, but I think it sort of does a similar thing where it could like clear your opponent's entire board and just be a huge tempo swing, and in a deck that already has so much burst damage, so much just tempo with well-statted minions, cards like Blade Dance and Shard Shatter Mystic are super problematic. They just really sort of have like a high variance, because basically if you draw them, you're having these huge swing turns. It's really hard for your opponent to come back into the game. And in the aggro versus aggro matchups, the Shard Shatter Mystic was deciding a lot of those. So I think that this is a reasonable change. I don't think this will like make the card completely unplayable, but it certainly delays that tempo swing for this card by 1 turn. I think overall, all of these Demon Hunter changes are very welcomed. and I'm hoping that they certainly reduce the power level of the Soul Demon Hunter and Aggro Demon Hunter decks. Moving into our neutral cards now, we have Voracious Reader. Our pain and suffering has finally ended, gentlemen. Voracious Reader moving from 2 mana to 3 mana. This was basically run in every single aggro deck. It's one of the most power creeped cards I'd ever seen in the history of Hearthstone, and I will certainly enjoy dusting my 10 rare copies and 2 golden copies of this card for my 2,000 plus dust. But no, in all seriousness, Voracious Reader was just way too strong. It gave aggro decks way too much gas. You could just, dump your hand every turn and then just draw 3 cards as just a super strong and powerful effect. I'm fine with neutral card draw, but a 2 mana draw 3 for neutral was really just too much. It was really contributing quite heavily to this super aggro meta we've had over the last 2 expansions. And this meta in particular, the Dark Moon meta, hasn't really changed much since Skullomance Academy, and part of that was due to Voracious Reader and other similar aggro cards. So I think that this is a solid change. I guarantee Voracious Reader will still see play, but if you have any extra copies of it, you can certainly go ahead and disenchant them, and I am looking forward to not having this card appear in every single aggro deck for the rest of time. Our last 2 cards are related to Highlander Hunter, and we have Dino Tamer Bran up first. He's moving from 7 mana to 8 mana. So a card that released over a year ago in the Saviors of Uldum expansion, but had still be seeing some play in the recent Highlander Hunter lists. The recent lists were more sort of aggro face lists, and the idea is that you flood the board similar to Aggro Demon Hunter, but then you use your Dino Tamer Bran and Dragon Bane mech as a finisher. So Dino Tamer Bran being delayed by 1 turn, I think that this is a totally reasonable change. The card is still definitely strong, but I think, it's been in pretty much like the top 5% of the meta for like a year and a half, and I've played a lot of Highlander Hunter myself. I've enjoyed it quite a fair bit, but this is just sort of taking away, a bit of the gas and a bit of the late game for the aggro face hunters, and just in general lowering the aggro power level a little bit. So I think that this is a super reasonable change, and looking forward to not being smashed in the face by King Crush 1 turn earlier. Our final card is in a similar line of thinking to that. We have Lore Keeper Polkelt, moving from 4 mana to 5 mana. This card was also, as you know, run in Highlander Hunter, in various aggro decks in both Hunter and Demon Hunter, and the idea was you played your Lore Keeper Polkelt, say that 5 times fast, and then curved out really hard in the late game with your Dino Tamer Bran, some of your other cards. Also a pretty strong card in Wild from what I know. So overall, just really strong when you play it on curve. Not on curve, but if you use it in like the mid-game and just curve out with all your high-end stuff and just kind of close out your opponent with an aggro deck, just a bit too strong. So similar idea, delaying that by 1 turn, making that, a little less likely to happen in a game. Sort of a super bad feeling when you're playing as an aggro deck, you run them out of cards and then they just drop their Lore Keeper Polkelt and you know that the pain is coming. So yeah, similar idea. Wanting to reduce the power level of aggro with this change for both Hunter and Demon Hunter. I think that overall this is a very healthy meta update. Moving on now to Duels, the recently released mode. It's had a variety of huge balance updates, which I'm not going to be covering in this video because there were just way too many of them, and I've already spent way too much time on both Battlegrounds and Standard. This would be like a 40-minute video. So once again, the link will be in the description box below and in the comment section. You can check out the extensive Duels patch notes on the Hearthstone blog, a bunch of minion and hero power changes, and overall, if Duels is your thing, some solid changes here for you. You can check them all out in greater detail on the Hearthstone blog, which the link, once again, is down below. Now let's move on to the rewards and progression updates. As many of you Hearthstone players know, the rewards track came out, the Hearthstone Battle Pass this expansion, and it really sucked. Everyone hated it. So much so, in fact, that they had to put out 2 blog posts telling everyone that they were going to fix it and make it slightly better. And we finally had some actual tangible changes to the progression system, launching with this 19.2 patch update. So let's jump into those. There are a bunch of them here, but I'm going to kind of just break them down in the 4 major points and the 4 main things that you need to know. The first big change is that weekly and daily quests are now easier to complete. We've had a variety of quests that have been removed and a variety of quests that have just been made easier. The biggest ones of those are like the win 7 games weekly quest in ranked play mode. That's been reduced to win 5 games, but the same sort of idea applies to all the other quests. You know, play 20 Murlocs down to play 10 Murlocs, or play, you know, X amount of whatever keyword is down, you know, reduced by like half or whatever. So overall, the quests are basically easier to complete, and since so much of the sort of rewards track experience is tied to quests, this is going to make it a lot easier in general to progress through the rewards track. Another welcome quality of life change is that Tavern Brawl mode and Battlegrounds will now contribute to quest progress. Tavern Brawls already did contribute to quest progress in the old system, and I have absolutely no idea what they were thinking removing that, because I would just use Tavern Brawls to get my like win 3 games with X class challenge or whatever. But now that is back, I don't know if that was an oversight or they were just trying to force people to play standard. But either way, that has been reversed, and now Tavern Brawls and Battlegrounds will contribute to quest progress for things like play, you know, X amount of games, or play Battlecry cards, things like that. Both those modes will count towards that weekly and daily quest progress. The third big major change is that overall, the rewards track will now just require less experience to complete. 20% to be exact. All levels in the rewards track battle pass have now been reduced by 20% in the amount of experience that you need. So this is just going to make it 20% easier to complete the rewards track. You're not going to have to grind as much. And in combination with the quest changes and the ability to play both Tavern Brawls and Battlegrounds for quests, this is just going to, in general, make the entire process way less grindy, way less egregious, and just make it a lot faster to earn gold, and is a lot less greedy in general of a system. I get what Blizzard was going for with this new system, and I think on paper it could work a lot better, but I think just their calculations and the things that they put into this with their number crunching just were horrific and did not make any sense, and was like significantly less gold than it was before. So I'm very excited to see them finally making these changes, and hopefully in the future, you know, moving into the next standard year, we will also receive some minor improvements and updates to this progression system and rewards track. But with that said, the fourth and final change for the progression system is the bonus levels. Previously, after you get past level 50, you get 150 gold every bonus level up to level 150. This has now been changed where you progress through these bonus levels, I think 3 times faster, but then you get 50 gold instead of 150 gold. So it's sort of shortening the amount of time between bonus levels, but making there be less gold. So in general, it's not like you would have to wait a longer time for 150. Now you can wait a shorter amount of time for 50. So you get that gold coming in a little bit quicker, and when you're banging through those bonus levels, a little less grindy, and a little less amount of time between gold earnings. So overall, some solid updates for this progression system. Definitely makes me want to actually play the game now and not grind to death. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how these new progression updates sort of result in the game. And hopefully we will also receive some more somewhere down the line. But overall, a very happy and positive change here for the rewards track system. Last but certainly not least, I also wanted to mention the Winter Veil event that's going on in Hearthstone now for the next couple of weeks. This is an event that happens every single year in December around Christmas time, and we will have a legendary quest line as we always do. This time around, we'll reward you 4 Madness at the Darkmoon Faire card packs. They will appear one at a time, these 2 quests on your quest log, and they will not override any of your other quests. As with the new progression system, there is a separate slot for legendary quests, so definitely check that out. And aside from all of the, you know, various major balance changes, some legendary quests, and some free packs to earn. We also have sort of a compensation login reward bonus for the rewards track fiasco that's taken place this expansion. We have 5 free Madness at the Darkmoon Faire packs and 500 gold for free as well. And to earn that, all you have to do is log in anytime from now, I think between now and sometime in January, middle of January. So yeah, definitely a nice little reward there from Blizzard. I would recommend that you do not open those packs, as we will have the Madness at the Darkmoon Faire mini set launching sometime, I would imagine, in January or February. So 5 free packs could definitely get you a decent amount of the commons and rares from that upcoming mini set. So in total, that's 9 free packs with this Winter Veil event and 500 gold. So some solid free rewards, and definitely kudos to Blizzard for giving that to us for this Winter Veil event. The last thing I wanted to touch on was the Book of Heroes, the solo adventure experience. We have both the Warrior one launching as of today with the release of this patch, and the Paladin one with Uther launching in January. Then we also have a couple unique Tavern Brawls coming with the Winter Veil event, as we do every year. The return of the Gift Exchange Tavern Brawl, and then a Kobolds-themed Tavern Brawl of some kind. And then also the Winter Veil card back makes a return to the shop. So yeah, some, standard stuff that you would expect for the Winter Veil event at this point in Hearthstone's life cycle. And definitely some other, unique and free stuff to check out throughout both this month and the next. But anyways, guys, that's basically going to do it for this video. It was super long, so definitely a ton of stuff in this one. I hope it wasn't too wordy or, beefy for you of a video. Tons of updates this time around for 19.2 update. We had Battlegrounds changes, a bunch of new content and new balance changes. We had standard nerfs with Demon Hunter and Hunter. We had a variety of big Duels balance changes for the brand new Duels mode. And then some long-awaited updates to the progression system in the game, making the weekly and daily quests easier to complete, just less experience and less grinding needed in general for that rewards track. And then lastly, the Winter Veil event, some free compensation, 9 free packs, 500 gold, and some single-player stuff coming over the next month or two. That's basically everything in this update. And with that said, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future patch overview videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys soon.